I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education, a show dedicated to helping our teachers, students, and parents with both distance and blended learning. We have a very diverse episode of On Air Education today, with topics ranging from health, nutrition, and diet to the steps needed for a career in medicine and the hotbed topic of vaccinations and masks in our schools. We're thrilled to introduce you to our guest via technology is Dr. Ian Smith. Dr. Smith is the author of the #1 New York Times bestselling books, Shred, The Revolutionary Diet, Super Shred, The Big Results Diet, Blast the Sugar Out, The Clean 20, The Ancient 9, Clean and Lean, and 11 other books with millions of copies in print. His latest book, Wolf Point, is a fictional murder mystery set in my hometown of Chicago. Dr. Smith served as the solo host of the nationally syndicated Emmy Award-winning television show, The Doctors, and is a longtime medical contributor to Emmy Award-winning Rachel Ray Show. Dr. Smith has appeared extensively on numerous broadcasts, including The Oprah Winfrey Show, The View, Dr. Oz, Steve Harvey Show, The Talk, Larry King Live, Anderson Cooper 360, CNN, MSNBC, and now On Air Education. Dr. Smith's work has been honored by several organizations, including the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, for his coverage on the monumentous events of September 11th, 2001. Dr. Smith graduated from Harvard College with an AB and received a master's in science education from Teachers College of Columbia University, attended Dartmouth Medical School, and completed the last 2 years of his medical education and graduated from the University of Chicago Pritzker School of Medicine. We think you know a thing or two about engaging students in studying medicine and higher education. Dr. Smith, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be with you tonight.
And also joining us from New York City is my frequent lunch and dinner companion, who's appeared in hundreds of television shows, movies, author of 2 books, and a headliner appearing this fall at the Westgate Resort, Las Vegas. My friend and yours, one of the great stand-up comedians, Dr. George Wallace. George.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Jonathan. Hello, Dr. Ian Smith. I am so happy to be with you guys today. I'm elated to be here. And I tell you what, you talk about a doctor. I'm a doctor, and we feel good. I mean, there's medicine everywhere. Laughter is the best medicine in the world.
Yeah. And, George, I have to ask you, have you discovered Uber Eats yet?
Listen, since I've been away for quite a while, I know Uber Eats, I know Grubhub, I know DoorDash, I know them all. They live here. But, you know, I'm still an extremist. I don't let anybody in this house except for Sarah Lee, Ben and Jerry, and Johnny Walker. That's all I let in my house, okay?
Dr. Smith, can we start with you and talk about what we affectionately call Corona fat? We've all put on a few pounds staying at home, watching TV, and I know there was a God when I found Stretch Men's blue jeans. What do you suggest we do to get back to our pre-COVID weight?
Well, you know, first of all, don't beat yourself up. I mean, listen, it's been a crazy year and a half. The world has literally been upside down. And even though I've been someone who's been preaching about health and weight loss and weight maintenance, I'm telling everyone, take a deep breath. Don't be so hard on yourself. Now, we're going to turn the corner here. And so now it's time to get busy and try to get that COVID-19 off of you. That's the key, right? We got to get it off now. And I think that, you know, we're kind of down the road here in the pandemic where people can start focusing on themselves and their health and what they eat. Listen, we learned a lot about ourselves this pandemic. And one thing we learned is that a lot of the stuff that we thought we needed, we actually can be happy without it. And that's one of the good things about this pandemic. So I think we can start doing better with a little eating a little healthier, some more fruits and vegetables, some whole grains, and some more regular exercise.
Well, George, I've been trying to swim every day because it's been 110 and you know what here in Las Vegas. What are you doing for exercise?
I'm walking. I walk the city. I walk in the park. I try to get in about 1.5 to 3 miles per day. I'm really, because I need it, doctor. You're talking about eating habits. I'm eating strange things. I'm eating like chicken and Cheerios. I'm eating like peanut butter and potato salad. I'm doing some stupid stuff. Okay, donuts and Doritos. So I'm really off, Jonathan. I'm in bed. You know, it's all here. That's why I'm leaning closer to the camera so you won't see me below.
Well, we're all trying our best, and I found that buying larger clothes really wasn't the answer.
And another thing, I'm glad I'm not in Las Vegas because Dr. Ian, speaking of diet, your friend next to you there in the end, he tends to like to take me out to dinner every week, and it's never anything good. It's Italian. I mean, the food is wonderful, but it's not healthy at all. He makes me eat pizza and lasagna at the same time.
Now, Dr. Ian, what got you to move to Chicago? I saw that you went to school there, but that's my hometown. Talk about a great food city. You're there.
Yeah, it's a great food city, but I'm a East Coast guy, Connecticut and New York. So New York City is my claim. I lived there for many years, but I went to med school here. My wife is from here. So we settled down here. It was easier. My job, I can kind of fly everywhere like George does. I'm on the road a lot, making TV appearances. Now with Zoom, I don't have to leave at all. So, but I love Chicago. In fact, Chicago is such a great city. I decided to make it the centerpiece, the background of my murder mystery series, Ash Kane, because so many people don't know about Chicago. They only hear about it on CNN or in newspapers, but there's way more to Chicago than violence and all the bad things you hear. And we're not just a flyover city from New York to LA and back. We're a real city. So anyway, it's a character in my novels, and people love Chicago. It's a great city.
Is this the first novel with this Ash Kane character?
So this is the second book you have right there. It comes out in October. It's the second installment. The first one was called The Unspoken. And actually, fingers crossed, we just got an offer to make it into a TV series. And so the novel is going to be converted to a TV series. It's going to be a fun deal. We got to get George a little cameo in it somehow.
There you go. There you go. He appears in everything. All I got to do is ask him. He plays the father. He'd play the daughter if you asked him to.
If you asked me to. Matter of fact, on September 23rd, I'll be with B.J. Novak. I have a new series called The Premises. I know you see it advertised everywhere right now, and it's on Fox on FX on Hulu, and I'll be doing that. And I got a lot of things in the fire here. So, and we're working with Norman Lear, of course, Jonathan. I told you about that. My series called Clean Slate with me and Laverne Cox. So. God is good, life is good, and we're having fun. I'm just happy to be here. So I won't talk too much more because you two pros know everything.
Oh, you're going to keep talking. So how did you go from writing books on diet and nutrition and health to crime novels?
I have always been a lover and a reader of mysteries, murder mysteries, and detective noirs, always. And even though my claim to fame has been the health books and weight loss, I've always had this passion for it. And I just finally said to my publisher, listen, you guys have printed millions of copies of my health books. They've been very good for you guys. We've helped millions of people around the world. I really want to do what I've also been passionate about, which is to write novels, particularly murder mysteries and detective dramas. And we started. And so we did it. This is Wolf Point will be my fourth novel. It'll be the second book in the Ash Kane series. And I watch it. I watch this stuff all the time on TV, on Netflix. My wife says, "Do you watch anything else?" What can I say? I just love this genre.
I love it too. I mean, as a fan of Dashiell Hammett and Raymond Chandler and all the detective noir stories, I absolutely love it. How did you transition, if I can use that word with George around, because of that Laverne Cox show he said, how did you transition from medicine to talk show? I know. To talk show and then doctors. How did that happen for you?
Well, it's interesting. So I did something that was very unorthodox when I was a young doctor, which is I did an internship in a newsroom in Chicago at WMAQ, which is the NBC affiliate. And I did it not because I wanted to be on television. I did it because I knew once I got into the hospital, my life basically was pretty much over. It was going to be a lot of work. I wouldn't have a lot of free time. So before I left medical school, I went down to NBC. I met one of the anchors and said, "Hey, listen, can I be your intern?" He said, "Sure. Come on down to the station next week at 5 a.m. So I showed up. And this guy's name is Art Norman.
I was going to ask if it's my friend Art Norman.
You know Art Norman?
I know. My office at NBC in Chicago. And Art's one of the nicest gentlemen in the world. Larry Wirt was the president of NBC when I was there. And
yes.
I was on the 16th floor, and Stedman Graham was on the 15th floor. And it was a great building to be in. And Art's one of the nicest gentlemen in broadcasting. I think he's still on the air. I talk to him every once in a while on the Facebook. And when you get older, you call it the Facebook, George. the Facebook. We've got Dr. Ian Smith. We've got Dr. George Wallace. You're watching On Air Education. We're going to get into a little bit about education and the hotbed topics of vaccinations and masks. But we're going to take one quick, short commercial message. Stay right where you are.
Welcome to the Great American Pub, a great place to hang out with your friends, watch the game, and enjoy some great pub food. Our kitchen is open 24/7 with our full menu. Try some of our signature dishes like the Philly or clam chowder. Join us at the Great American Pub and enjoy happy hour specials. Grab a drink and enjoy great pub food from all over the country right here in Las Vegas. The Great American Pub with two great locations, 215 and Eastern and Flamingo and 215.
Whoever you are, you're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. If you're not like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Weenie's Charbroiled Hot Dogs is the only charbroiled restaurant in Las Vegas. Weenie's Charbroiled has a full menu of hot dogs, footlong cheese chili dogs, pizza logs, Senoran Mexican hot dogs on bolillo buns, and Chicago-style Italian beefs served wet with jardinera. Mention this ad for a complimentary Loganberry drink with your order. Family friendly with dine-in and carry-out service. Weenie's Charbroiled Hot Dogs.
If you don't come to Weenie's,
Any doctors in here? Any doctors in here? 2, 3 doctors back there? Everybody working in the medical industry, raise your hands. All of you need your ass kicked. Everybody here want to know, doctor, why is it we have a 10 o'clock appointment to see you doctors? We don't get to see till 11:15, 11:30, 11:45. Then they walk out and ask you, what's the problem? The problem, I've been waiting on your ass for an hour and a half. Then they walk by you, be patient, be patient. That's how they came up with the name.
Jonathan Scott, On Air Education. We're back with Dr. Ian Smith, author of a brand new book called Wolf Point. It's his second crime novel. And our friend and yours, comedian, one of the best stand-up comedians in the world, Dr. George Wallace, coming from New York City. Gentlemen, we're going to change it up a little bit and talk about some topics that I know how George feels about it, because we share the same sentiments about being safe and taking precautions. But it's certainly a hotbed topic in the schools. Before the show, George and I were talking, 50% of the minority students in Clark County, where we are, last year got D's and F's as grades. 30% of the A students got D's and F's in the grades. They're screaming, they're yelling, their death threats are going to the teachers back and forth, whether they should get vaccinated or not get vaccinated. I was told that you've got a definite position on this, Dr. Smith.
Let me say it very clearly. It is criminal behavior at how this country is responding to the vaccinations and to mask mandates. People who are not scientists, who don't understand science, who don't understand viruses, are saying things and starting conspiracy theories, and they're making this political, they're making it religious. It's got nothing to do with that. A virus operates in a scientific fashion. Doctors and healthcare professionals and researchers and virologists, this is what we study all the time starting in medical school. And the idea that those of us who have trained our entire lives to be experts in this are not considered to be proficient enough, and rumors that start on Twitter and other social media platforms become the norm, it's outrageous. This country is upside down when it comes to vaccination, this virus. The only way we are going to get out of this pandemic, and I said it in the very beginning, is we have to get through it together. What that means is what I do can impact you all the way across the country. What you do can impact me, my family. We're in this together. Viruses travel. Now we have these variants. The reason why we're having all these variants is because people are not vaccinated. And when you are unvaccinated, you are now becoming a host for the virus to mutate. And that mutation, which is called a variant, is becoming deadlier and deadlier. Now we got videos of kids who are in ICU beds on machines, who are struggling to breathe. What will it take for people to realize this is not a joke? This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a deadly virus. 600,000 plus of our fellow Americans are in the ground. Why do you think they're in the ground? Because of a virus. George, maybe you have I don't understand what's happening in America. I don't know what people are thinking, what they're drinking. I don't know what's happening. It's confusing.
I don't think anybody knows. It is very confusing. That's why I'm confused and I'm concerned about it, because I'm very serious, as Jonathan mentioned up front. I got my mask here. I got both my shots. I'm so serious, Dr. Ian. I got both my shots in the same day. I can't fool around with this. And I'm actually waiting for my booster if I have to get one. I don't understand people. We got vaccination when you were a kid to go to school. You got a mark in your arm. You said nothing. You got a mark on your arm that you said nothing about. Now we see the numbers. We can trust science. I'm not going to argue with the scientists that know what we're doing here. And you can just look at the numbers, how many people are dead and how many people took the vaccine and didn't take the vaccine. And I'm sorry to say this, Jonathan, but as you know, my stage manager just passed away because he did not get vaccinated. Very smart, very smart guy, but he should have gotten vaccinated. And I'm afraid because for 3 years he gave me my microphone every night. He gave me my water every night. He gave me everything. And so I have concern. I'm confused how soon I should go back. I wear a mask to protect me and to protect you. That's all I'm saying. So I think you should do likewise. Do me the honor and favor of wearing a mask.
And let me just say this. I don't understand how people can say they love our kids, they want our kids to return to a sense of normalcy, yet look at the numbers. Almost 30% of the new cases are in kids.
Kids.
And they're now dying. How can you say you love kids, so let's not make them wear masks? I just don't. This is, honestly, guys, as a medical professional, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my medical career. It is. If you had told me this 10 years ago, I would have said, are you crazy? Not talking about America. I was in Kenya in safari for 2 weeks. And in Kenya, which has a fraction of our resources, a fraction, you could not go into a store without sanitizing your hands, taking your temperature. And this is every establishment, not some. Every establishment had someone at the door making sure you did that and wearing a mask to protect everyone else. In America, we have people standing on state steps with AK-47s saying they want to kill people because they have to wear a mask. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's certainly a hotbed topic that you almost are afraid to bring it up in conversation. And my answer is, if I was on Jeopardy, and I've been on the air for 40 years making jokes with George and talking about comedy and sports, and you're going to put me up against Dr. Fossey in science? You think I'm going to win? You think I know more than Dr. Smith? Talk about science? I don't. You say that it's good for me, I'm getting the shot. I mean, that's all there is to it from my perspective. But, God forbid you bring it up, you're afraid to. I mean, and there's that fear factor that you don't know what side of the fence people are on. And the country, I mean, is divided 50-50. And I agree with you, Doctor. And then kids, you're talking about kids under 12, if I understand it correctly, they can't get the vaccination under 12. And you look at kindergartners. We had a kindergarten teacher on last week, Krista Nigro, and she was saying, what bigger bed of germs are there than a bunch of 5-year-old kids with their noses running and coughing all over everybody? So, I mean, I don't have a solution other than get vaccinated, people. Come on, wake up. But, those are fighting words for some, and, I don't get it. So, well, there's no answer.
Let me just say this. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who I've not agreed on everything on, Arnold Schwarzenegger just said it right. Like, this is just moronic behavior. It's just absolutely outrageous. It flies in the face of reality. I'm a physician. You do not want me to counsel you on the economic recovery. I don't know anything about it. I mean, you want me to sit here and tell you what to do with the stock market? I'm not your guy. I have to listen to the experts, the economists of the world. Well, this is a medical issue. And yet I should go on Twitter and listen to people who probably didn't even take high school biology tell me whether or not a mask works, whether or not a vaccination is safe. And like George said, look how many vaccines we took as kids. Why didn't we question the vaccines when we were taking them as kids? All these vaccines we had to take to get into school, you had to take them. And now we have something that can actually kill us, and people want to fight about it, about getting vaccinated. This is just...
Yeah, I mean, we all have friends, and I actually knew the first person that died from it here in Las Vegas. He was a big Cubs fan, and I understand that you're a Cubs fan now, too. It looked like you had some Cubs memorabilia hanging around in Chicago.
Well, I'm actually a Sox fan. I'm on the South Side, so I got to be honest.
Well, the Sox are doing great also.
You see what those backdrops would do, huh?
You're watching On Air Education. Our guests are Dr. Ian Smith and Dr. George Wallace, comedian at the Westgate Resort. We're going to take one more short commercial break and wrap it up with Dr. Smith and Dr. Wallace. Stay right where you are.
Welcome to the Great American Pub, a great place to hang out with your friends, watch the game, and enjoy some great pub food. Our kitchen is open 24/7 with our full menu. Try some of our signature dishes like the Philly or clam chowder. Join us at the Great American Pub and enjoy happy hour specials. Grab a drink and enjoy great pub food from all over the country right here in Las Vegas. The Great American Pub with two great locations, 215 and Eastern and Flamingo and 215.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, the producer of On Air Education, inviting you to enroll in our 5-day on-air beginning broadcasting workshop, teaching you the ins and outs of what it takes to be on television, radio, and podcasts with real on-the-air training and professional guest speakers from the broadcast industry. Introduce yourself with a brief 60-second video using your phone camera. Beginning broadcasting workshop is limited to only 12 students. Tuition is $995 and all major credit cards are accepted. Email us at news1lasvegas@gmail.com.
In a changing world, it's time to change how we look at college. That's why Nevada State College provides excellence with affordability, a campus with diversity, and programs that offer opportunity. Nevada State College. Be bold, be great, be state.
Weenie's Charbroiled Hot Dogs is the only charbroiled restaurant in Las Vegas. Weenie's Charbroiled has a full menu of hot dogs, footlong cheese chili dogs, pizza logs, Senoran Mexican hot dogs on bolillo buns, and Chicago-style Italian beefs served wet with jardinera. Mention this ad for a complimentary Loganberry drink with your order. Family friendly with dine-in and carry-out service. Weenie's Charbroiled Hot Dogs.
If you don't come to Weenie's, Jonathan Scott with On Air Education. Welcome back. Our guests are Dr. Ian Smith, author of a brand new book. It's coming out, I think, next month, called Wolf Point, second in the series, crime detective stories, the Ash Kane novels, and our friend and yours, comedian, Dr. George Wallace. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Dr. Ian, and George has got his book out called Bulltwit. You go to georgewallace.com, if I'm not mistaken, and you can order that book directly.
GeorgeWallace.net. Right. There's Bulltwit and whatnot. Yes, some online ramblings off my head, okay?
And we just saw a terrific video of you talking about doctors, George.
Really?
Why should you have to wait in the waiting room so long?
I talk so much. I've been doing comedy for 45 years. Actually, I've been doing comedy so long, people now accuse me of stealing my own stuff. So, so I'm sure I said something about doctors. Yeah, and also on a subject we left. I'll say this: I've changed doctor, and I may be a mean person for doing this, but now I'm so concerned about people going to the hospital unvaccinated. Now they want treatment, and I'm thinking, well, wait in line until we take care of these people up here that follow the rules. Am I being mean? I'm being rude. You want it. You need it, now you come running.
Well, there are a lot of people who are arguing, actually, and it's very interesting. They're arguing that if you decide you don't want to get vaccinated, knowing that you are at risk for getting COVID-19, that once you get infected, you should not be allowed to go into a hospital and take up a bed and resources that other people need, heart patients, cancer patients. There are so many stories of people who are sick with other illnesses that can't get into the hospital because all the beds are taken by unvaccinated, infected people. So, listen, I'm a physician. I want to treat everybody. Even if you made a bad decision and I don't agree with your decision, I want you to be treated because I want every life to be saved. I don't care what your politics are. But that being said, it's stressing the system very hard.
Yeah.
Dr. Ian, I do want to ask you one direct question about education. What advice or counseling do you have for any young people that might be watching or their parents to get into the career field of medicine?
Let me tell you something. My grandfather, who never went past 6th grade from the South, he said, boy, let me tell you something. What you put up here,
George is laughing because he said boy.
When he said boy, I knew that. Southern pilot, boy, let me tell you something.
And so the issue is that we have to understand education is the key. It does not matter where you're from, what color you are. Education is our absolute key. And we need more African Americans in particular to become doctors. Dr. Oz and I are working on a campaign that he started called More Black Doctors. And it's nothing against white doctors or Asian doctors or Hispanic doctors. It's that we need to have more African American physicians, period. And so we need young people to get involved. Medicine is critical. If there's anything we learned during the pandemic, is we need people to understand medicine and health. And so I encourage everyone, don't be afraid of it. Don't be intimidated. Think about becoming a doctor or another healthcare professional, even a nurse. We need everyone on the front lines.
If people want to reach out to you, how can they? Is there a website that people can find out more information from you at?
You can send me a message on Instagram at Dr. Ian Smith. Spell the doctor out, I-A-N Smith. That's where to get me. George,
go ahead. Dr. Wallace.
I just wanted to say, Jonathan and Dr. Ian, is it too late for me to enter the medical field?
It's never too late, George.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
George, you are a doctor of comedy. That's what you are a doctor of. You make everybody, make so many people feel good almost every day.
I love what I do. And my first book is I wrote Laugh It Off. Laughter is the best medicine in the world. That's why we encourage people to overdose on laughter, keep it in the reach of children. And when you start laughing for more than 4 hours, then you call your doctor and give the doctor the prescription of laughter also. So everybody, laughter is that important. When you stop laughing, you stop living. That's a part of education tonight.
Dr. Ian, quick diet. Give us a quick diet tip.
Yeah, sure. Half of your plate should be color, meaning fruits and vegetables. The other half should be protein and whole grains. That's it.
That's pretty quick. I want to thank you, Dr. Ian K. Smith, author of Wolf Point, the new crime novel. Pick it up. It's going to be out real soon. Dr. George Wallace, I miss you. I love you. I can't wait till we break bread and drink red. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. My name is Jonathan Scott. You can reach me at news1lasvegas@gmail.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I would encourage you to enjoy your life, eat well, party hard, my friends, and as always, please be nice to each other. Thanks for watching.